Yo, it is Wednesday, April 28th, 2021. And after nearly 70 days, Anthony Davis is back. Baylor's women's head coach says she's going back to Louisiana. We got a pitching controversy in the MLB. Woo-wee. And to keep it sexy, we going, hit it off with some Aaron Rodgers conversation and so much more. Welcome to The Wire. Let's go, guys. Y'all ready?
We ready.
Let's do it. All right. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to The Wire. It is time to get things going. We hope you enjoyed the H2G anniversary documentary. Happy anniversary, everybody that's in the room. We've been doing this stuff for a year now. So that's exciting, but we are here to talk sports. So let's get into it. You mentioned, Sahi, before the intro there that we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers, and I think that's where we're going to start today as the quarterback carousel keeps turning around in the NFL. Green Bay has cleaned up a little bit of the confusion surrounding their franchise quarterback and former MVP Aaron Rodgers. Brian, I'm going to say his name wrong, Gutekunst, the general manager of the Packers, told analysts this week that they are working through things with Rodgers' contract. So Gutekunst said, Aaron's our guy. He's going to be the quarterback for the foreseeable future, and we are excited for the next couple of years. This is where I wanted to bring it to you guys. I think these are kind of interesting comments coming from the GM as things have been pretty much up in the air as of late. And much of the discussion of Aaron Rodgers' future with Green Bay has come from Aaron Rodgers. So what do you guys think about this seemingly sure thing attitude coming from the GM of the Packers?
I'll let Sahi go first.
Okay. It should be a short thing. That's Aaron freaking Rodgers, the bad man in Green Bay. Like, should even be a conversation like, is he going to stay? Is he going to go? Like, that's their guy. He's been to the NFC Championship 2 years in a row. Come on, man. Like, we shouldn't even be having this conversation, in my opinion. Aaron Rodgers should be the guy until, he can't throw anymore. But history does say quarterbacks at the end of their career, they move on. But like looking what Tom Brady did, the Patriots' mistake is something the Packers should be like, yo, let's not do what the Patriots did. Let's keep our guy and build around him. And let's get this Love guy out of town. And let's tell everybody we're smoothing things over with Aaron Rodgers. And let's get on the right track officially. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he brings up a good point, Richie. And, that kind of brings me to another point. We all know things have been a little dicey in Green Bay ever since last year. They traded up to get a quarterback. And then, as I mentioned before, Aaron Rodgers is the one that's kind of led analysts and sports fans alike to believe that he might be thinking elsewhere. Where do you see Aaron Rodgers finishing his career?
I don't think it'll be in Green Bay. I really don't, because the man's a competitor. He's similar to Tom Brady. He's just cut differently. Same thing with Brett Favre. And I want to point some things out. Like, it's eerily similar, right? We talk now. Do I think Aaron is slightly better than Brett? Yes, because particularly at turning the ball over, Aaron is the greatest turnover ratio quarterback. He's phenomenal, to Sahi's point. But let me clarify some things, right? Like, one of the things that's so weird, a lot of people don't realize, is Aaron Rodgers. He played his first 182 games. He won 119 games. Brett Favre, 182 games, 119 wins. So both of them won the exact same amount. Let's not forget Brett Favre was a 3-time consecutive MVP. And so Brett Favre got bounced at 39 years old and he was traded. Aaron Rodgers is currently 37. Now, I'm not saying history is going to repeat itself exactly, but, you know, just as Aaron was a competitor that felt he had to wait forever when he was, you know, sitting behind one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, if they draft a kid again, it's very possible, you know, who's to say? At the end of the day, you know, you might see Aaron playing somewhere else because I do think what they said, the next couple years is when they plan on keeping Aaron. And I don't think Aaron's just going to retire. I don't think he's so concerned with having to stay with the Packers. Like, that's not the type of guy he is, right? He's always had a chip on his shoulder. He went 24th and he was pissed about it, right? Because he was the best quarterback in the draft. So I think if he's got football to play and Green Bay's kind of shipping him out, he'll gladly leave and he's going to do a Tom Brady. And who knows, maybe he'll replace Tom Brady when Tom Brady retires at Tampa Bay. You never know. You don't know these things. All I can say is I don't believe Green Bay will keep him as long as he wants to play. And I do believe he will play past Green Bay.
Do you think he'll play longer than Tom Brady?
No. No. Aaron Rodgers is a bad man and has a better arm than Tom Brady, but he is not the better quarterback and he's not the better competitor and he's not going to play that long. It's really that simple. Tom Brady is the greatest. He's the GOAT by leaps and bounds. Aaron Rodgers would have to win like 8 in a row, and by then he'd be 45. So yeah, I just don't see that coming.
Yep. Sahi, anything else there? Are you ready to move on?
Yeah, let's move it on. Aaron Rodgers staying in Green Bay. Come on, guys.
So following up on the Zion conversation, we're going to leave Zion out of it. The Pelicans, not really. I got a little bit of touch of Pelicans later, but actually, we are going to touch on it slightly right now. The New York Knicks, we briefly mentioned them last week. Richie said, they're not the Nets. However, I feel like it's only right to bring up the fact that they are currently, as of our record date, I don't know if they've got a game between now and launch, 9-game winning streak. They've got wins over the Raptors, the Suns, the Hawks, the Hornets, the Pelicans, the Mavericks, the Grizzlies, and the LA Lakers. Sans, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Is this anything to write home about, guys, or is this, they're doing it at the right time. I think it's fair to say that at least.
Yeah, I'll kick this one off. What I'll say is, first of all, the Knicks are 4th in the standings, let alone the 9-game winning streak. They're 4th in the East. Having said that, it doesn't really mean anything. But what I will say is this, is for a New York Knicks fan, this is a big deal because this is the team nobody expected to be in the top 8, period. So they're playing extremely well. And you like to see that, another team they remind me of, and ironically doing slightly better than, are the Atlanta Hawks. Another team that, people didn't really expect to do as well as they're doing. And the Hornets, as we discussed, right? We were all crap talking about, Michael Jordan's GM skills and things like that. And here the Hornets are at number 8. So again, the New York Knicks being above the Boston Celtics, no, that says more about Boston's underperformance and poor coaching and et cetera. But, it's a good day to be a Knicks fan. You're 4th in the Eastern Conference, and the only teams better than you are the Nets, the 76ers, and the Milwaukee Bucks. What do you say to that other than, hey, man, Zion wants to come over here? Do I still think that's winning basketball if Zion? No. But anyway, having said that, wow, it's cool. Like, again, they were supposed to be a bottom feeder. They're 4th and easily will make the playoffs regardless of this. This has nothing to do with the win streak. Even if you take this win streak out of the equation, they'd still be competing for 8th. So kudos to them and that team for succeeding with a terrible owner and ownership. And I hope it continues, man. Again, it's kind of funny. A lot of people don't realize this. The New York Knicks are the most valuable basketball team to this day, even with them being losers. And when I say losers, I mean losers. They haven't won in 36 fucking years. They're losers. Yet they're still the most valued basketball team, and I think the second most valued sports team in the world. Insane.
Sahi, and one of the things that comes to mind for me, Sahi and Richie both, if you look at the two New York teams, the Knicks really don't have anybody, right? They're playing with a bunch of nobodies, and they're doing well. They're well enough to go where they need to go. But the question I have for you, Sahi, is would you rather be a Nets fan risking a letdown with this should be sure thing of the Monstars, as you've called them, or would you rather be a Knicks fan riding the underdog wave into the playoffs?
That is a great question, but I'd rather be a Nets fan for sure, just because the Knicks have a bunch of nobodies out there. They got young talent, but like what Richie was talking, I'm thinking like they have no stars. Yeah, it's great for the NBA, the league, growing the league. New York's is, like Zion said, the mecca of basketball. So whenever you have both the teams in that city doing well, it's good for the entire league. It's going to bring more eyeballs in. Kids from New York are going to be inspired to play. I want to be like that Knicks team I saw in 2021. I want to be like that Nets team in 2021 that I saw. But for this year, of course, you got Durant, you got Kyrie, and you got James Harden out there. You want to see how far they can go with that.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
It's championship or bust for that team. So you want to ride that wave. Like the Knicks, okay. Nobody expected you guys to be there. Good story. We'll do a documentary on it 10 years later. We'll see all the behind the scenes. But
Somebody
for right
will.
now, it's all somebody will. Who knows?
We ain't doing that.
Spike Lee will do something. It was like a season that never should have been. You know
We'll cover the documentary in 10 years.
Right. Right. But for this year, it's got to be the Nets. You know what I'm saying? They've got a lot riding on this season. And that team isn't going to be together for very long. So you got to, you know what I'm saying? The Knicks will grow. The Nets,
That's a fair point.
They're here right now. So let's do something, guys.
I got to go the opposite on Sahi on this one. I'd say I'd rather be a Knicks fan. And the reason why is you got nothing to lose. Like Sahi just said, you got a bunch of losers and they're still forward. If they win a playoff series, it's like the Cleveland Browns, right? When the Browns beat the Steelers, it was a huge deal, and it is, and it legitimately is a huge deal. And to Sahi's point, you got a limited scope with these Nets, and if they don't win, oh man, they're gonna get roasted, right? And then they got another year, and if they don't win again, they're gonna get roasted. Look what happened with the Miami Heat. They failed once. LeBron started doing it. They won a couple championships, and then when they lost, LeBron got fed up. This could you know what I mean? Like, I really feel this is the same direction. These are all young enough cats that they're all going to bounce. They're not going to, like to Sahi's point, they will not stay with the Nets the whole time. So I don't want to be a Nets fan because it's heartbreak. If we don't win, it's heartbreak. It was like being a Houston Rockets fan and a Warriors fan, etc. Like all those years, James Harden and them get to the Western Conference Finals, and every year they add a new piece, and they're so close. And look at this, they trade for James Harden, and if they don't win, my God, because you're already not the real New York team, right? When you're the Nets, You're not the real New York team, and now you got everybody coming on the wagon. And if this wagon doesn't make it to the chip, I mean, I get where Sahi's coming from, but I'd rather play it safe and take the cop out and just be like, let's let Julius Randle and these scrubs play. You know what I mean? Like we win one game, I'm gonna talk about it, because the last time we won a game in the playoffs, I think was like, I don't know, 2007. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it has been a long time. Let's switch gears again. Let's head back on over to the NFL. And Sahi, I need you to be nice on this one, okay? I just need you to be nice. You've been mean to him before. We're going to talk about Kansas City, okay?
You don't have to be nice.
Orlando Brown Jr. Says to NFL analysts, "My plan is to keep him clean," referring to Patrick Mahomes as Brown joins Joe Thurney and Austin Blythe as the new additions to the Kansas City offensive line. They are going to be making some moves, or indicated they're going to make some moves with the draft. We won't know until the end of the week. What do you guys like the direction of focus, or what do you guys like or dislike about the direction of focus when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs in the offseason? Because to me, it seems like they're bandaging the wound first. What are your guys' thoughts? I think Sahi's up first on this one.
Yeah, I mean, great for them. You know what I'm saying? They had a weakness that got exploited to a high degree last year. But you know what? Never mind. It's great for them. They're going to win a lot of games. I'm glad for Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? He's got guys on the O-line that's going to do a solid job for him. They still got the weapons out there. They're going to be a great team. Although the rest of the AFC, I think, is going to be catching up. It's a good sign for them to know that they had a weakness that will be exploited week in and week out, and they're doing everything in their power to clean it up. How it works out for them later in the road, especially for the defensive side of the ball, they still gave up 31 points in the Super Bowl. So they got to do something about that defense too. The O-line is looking okay. They got some guys that other teams didn't want. So we'll see.
What do you think, Richie? I'll leave it on the same question.
To me, this is good and bad. Here's what I mean. Good in the sense of Orlando Brown's great. Fantastic, but he was a right tackle. I understand he's always wanted to play left tackle, but he was a right tackle. And that is a massive difference in the game. I'm not saying he can't be a left tackle, and he's a Pro Bowl right tackle. They traded a first, which is the 31st pick, a third and a fourth, right? Like, if you can get a Pro Bowl tackle for that, you take it every time when you're not a top 15 pick. You take it every time. But they let Eric Fisher go, who was their left tackle and tore his ACL. And it was a very good left tackle, quite frankly. But he tore his ACL in the AFC Championship game. So is Orlando Brown an upgrade? Probably. I'm not trying to be, probably. But how big of an upgrade is he versus, to Sahi's point? I'm not worried about Kansas City's offense. Okay, yes, their left tackle tore his ACL in the AFC Championship game. That's not something you can expect to happen. Yes, it's football, but that's not like why they lost. To Sahi's point, they lost because they let Tampa Bay run all over them. And yes, Mahomes got knocked around by Tampa Bay's great defensive line, but this doesn't just solve that. Because what happens if Orlando Brown happens to tear his ACL? Injuries are part of the game, and you can't be so reactive that they thought Eric Fisher is literally the reason they lost. That's what I feel like when I see this. I see this as reactionary. So I'm a little disappointed because to me, they let Sammy Watkins go. I think that's the right move. But my thought process is they were going to focus their cap on the defense, because one thing we know Kansas City doesn't need is offense. They're going to score 40 plus, points a fucking game in the regular season anyway. They're going to do that. So this doesn't change anything. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback with or without Orlando Brown, right? Okay, sure. You don't have Orlando Brown. Maybe Eric Fisher doesn't start off strong, but here's my point. 6 teams are already talking to Eric Fisher. All right. He's a great left tackle. So that's why I'm a little perplexed, because I feel like, is this the biggest move they needed? I don't know. I personally feel like this is an upgrade, but is this the best move? No. I give this a B. It's still a good move, but I feel like they could have done more with what they got. I will say, for the picks they traded for, this was an excellent move. But I'm a little surprised they let go of Fisher, because if their concern is getting deeper at the line, why would you let go of someone in case Orlando goes down? So I don't know. That's my opinion.
I see the opportunity, so I've got the wrench. I'm going to go ahead and throw it up in there. My question for both of you guys is, if you are the head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, put yourself in whatever position you want. of one of the interdivisional opponents. So somebody on the AFC side, someone's got to play them a lot next season. What do you learn not only from seeing their demise in the playoffs, because until the end of the playoffs, they were dominant, and nobody can doubt that. And it seems like the Buccaneers had the number that mixed with the injuries. We got what we got.
And Tom Brady.
And Tom Brady. The number is Tom Brady. The number is 12. What did you learn if you're the opponents? What did you learn that you need to take advantage of? And you can maybe pick a franchise to be speaking on behalf of. What did you learn, and how do you think the weapons line up to be able to sneak in there? Does that make sense? This question makes sense?
Oh, question totally makes sense. I'm going to go first just because I saw he's got the better blueprint. But here's what I'll say. In the AFC, ain't nobody got a chance. I'm going to say that right now. Because the reality is where their weakness is what Tampa Bay has. And that is a crushing defensive line, period. And when you look at the AFC, ain't nobody got that. There's only one other team that has a great defensive line, and Pittsburgh's close, but they're not there. They're close, but they're not there. The great, and I'm talking about the full line, because Cleveland's also close, but they're not there. The Los Angeles Rams, and they're in the NFC. So that's my point. There's only two teams I see that have the blueprint to beating them. The blueprint is getting Mahomes on his butt, like we just talked about, and also, playing good defense, which Kansas City didn't do. But the point being is Mahomes on his butt was what won them the game. And Tampa Bay is the best defensive line. They may not have the best individual player, but that's the point. They have a collective, dominant line that's just gotten better, and they're all staying. So, that's the blueprint. And in my opinion, the AFC, I'm looking across the board. Jets, Patriots, Dolphins, Bills, Steelers, Browns, Bengals, Ravens, Texans, Colts, Jaguars, Titans, Broncos, Raiders, and Chargers. Not a single one in the AFC have a dominant defensive line. So I don't see a blueprint. Can somebody snag a win in the regular season? Sure. But I don't think there's a blueprint, because nobody got Tom Brady in the AFC and nobody got the defensive line in the AFC. So if you're the AFC, I'm sorry. Richie Phillips is calling it early. Y'all better pray something happened to Orlando Brown's knee.
Aaron Rodgers. Calling Aaron Rodgers.
Calling Aaron Rodgers. Green Bay, we got a deal for you. I don't know what to say for the AFC. I see a couple teams in the NFC that might have a shot. Now, obviously, we know which one, but there's a couple in there that have the firepower and have the defensive line. And that's really what it comes down to. When I look at the AFC, I don't see a defense that can cause him enough problems. And then vice versa. For instance, if it could, then they don't have the offense. Pittsburgh and Cleveland being who I'm pointing at for the AFC, their defense might be able to slow them down, but then their offense certainly can't keep up. So I don't see anybody in the AFC. So to answer your question for the AFC, none of y'all, there's no blueprint for you. It's over. What you need to focus on is your team improving for the following year and then finding your own way to win. I'm just calling this the Golden State Warriors effect. You cannot focus on building your team to beat one team. You need to figure out what your team's best at. And that's the reality right now. For Pittsburgh, it's Ben Roethlisberger retiring and moving on, killing that dead horse. That for the AFC, there's a quick example, right? That's the easiest example I can give. For the Patriots, they're going all in right now, but they need a quarterback. So they need to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. There's another example. But, AFC, no chance. NFC, we already know who's already designed to beat them and designed to beat a lot of people. And until Tom Brady isn't playing like Tom Brady, I'm already calling them the favorites for this year. That's all I got.
Which AFC team do you coach for? Are you offensive, defensive head coach, and what did you learn?
Ooh, I got to disagree with Richie there on the AFC. I see the Cleveland Browns. If they match up with Kansas City, they can beat them like this. They just signed Clowney. They got Myles Garrett over there. He's a top 5 defensive player in the league.
That's right.
They can come off the edge and cause trouble, but that's not where you beat Kansas City. You beat Kansas City by either one, taking down Patrick Mahomes, or two, keeping Patrick Mahomes off the field. And what do the Cleveland Browns have? Kareem Hunt and the other guy. What's his name? The running back, 24. Chubb.
Oh my
Nick
God.
Nick
Yep.
Chubb. If they can control the ball, run the clock, keep Patrick Mahomes on the sideline, get a couple 3 and outs, get up maybe 14 to 17 points, they might be able to keep Kansas City one-dimensional. And with those guys on the outside, Jadeveon Clowney isn't a top guy, but he's a disruptive force. He can put pressure. He's probably not going to get home and get a bunch of sacks, but you got that guy over here and you're going to free up Myles Garrett. One of you guys are going to get one-on-ones. So out of all the teams right now, and then their offense really isn't bad. They got Odell Beckham coming back.
Beckham's coming back.
They got Jarvis Landry. So they can throw the rock, but if they can pound it on the ground, you know what I'm saying, and manage the game that way, I think they got a shot. They almost beat them last year, you know what I'm saying, in the playoffs. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes went out with that concussion-like injury, neck injury. And Baker couldn't seal the deal. Yeah, Baker couldn't seal the deal. But like you said, if I was the coach, I wouldn't have put it on Baker to seal the deal. I would have ran it until the clock ran out and we couldn't run it no more. But I think they just got a little bit too cute and tried to, let Baker rally us. I think out of any team in the AFC, they got a shot. Especially with the Houston Texans giving up their whole squad. They would have had it. They had, Deshaun Watson, J.J. Watt, Hopkins. All they needed was a few more pieces, but they let it all go. But yeah, it doesn't really matter because you got like we said, Tom Brady and them Buccaneer boys coming back to run it for 2 of them boys. So
and now they've had a full year of practice together too.
Full year of preparation. We won it in year 1. We were just gearing up. We didn't expect it to win it year 1. Yeah, we know we could have, but now that we did, we we're gonna win this again.
No practice because of COVID. Brand new system. Tom Brady and the boys.
We're gonna get quarterback. We're going to get into your boy Baker in a little while, but I do want to mention he is not yet tagged. They went ahead and signed the 5-year extension. So who knows what the plan is there. I personally miss Marvin, and I wish he was here to say that's the guy that's going to hold Cleveland back, because that's what I'm going to say.
That's what he always feels, That's why I wanted to rub it in his face, because he's always been smack talking Baker. I'm like, you know what? He is now officially the longest signed tenured quarterback in the new franchise's history. So.
All right, one more story before we head to the break, and this one, I'm pretty excited about it. I'm pretty excited. I think it's going to be great for her. And 1 second. So this story excites me. I think this is cool. I'm happy for her. After 21 seasons and 3 national championships as head coach of the Baylor Lady Bears basketball team, Kim Mulkey is moving on to her home state of Louisiana. It's not her alma mater. She went to Louisiana Tech, but she will be the new head coach of LSU. Mulkey is the only woman to own a national championship, both as a player, staff. I think she was an offensive coordinator, and head coach in the NCAA history. She's also an Olympic gold medalist and one of the greatest coaches in women's NCAA history. So a couple questions here. First off, what do we think of the move?
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to upgrade and move on to bigger and better things and challenge yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to be stuck in one situation for too long. So I think it's just a natural thing to do. And hey, congratulations.
Richie, 21 seasons, 3 national championships. Fair to say she's moving to the SEC. It's a tougher division.
Yeah, it is. Here's what I'll say. I'm disappointed just from the fact that, when I think of Kim Mulkey, I think of like Coach Krzyzewski and things like that, and like Dean Smith. I think of like legacies. And I was a little surprised because, like you just discussed, 21 years at Baylor, 3 championships. I didn't expect it. I understand it. She's from Louisiana. She played for I think it was Louisiana Tech. You just said I think she played for Louisiana Tech. She spent 15 years there as an assistant and an assistant associate coach, and she never got the chance to coach in Louisiana. So I understand she wants to return home per se. But like I said, I just really expected her to be a lifer. She really carried that college, and just from the perspective of like, if it was like, I don't want to say this, the previous coach, I don't remember her name, left after 10 years and like, right. And then so she immediately like jumped into it. And I get it. It's for LSU. This is huge. Let me clarify, right? You're bringing her in. This is massive. But, for the Lady Bears, a little disappointed for them, but good for her. She said it's been a dream. And this has like always been her goal, to win a championship for LSU. I think it's a little weird in the sense of like, she didn't even go there, but whatever. Who am I to judge? Go here. Yeah, she doesn't even go here. Like there's a lot of people in Ohio that do this shit with Ohio State too, right? Where it's like they have this like love for Ohio State, but they never went to Ohio State and weird stuff. So who am I to judge that? If this was her goal and like a life goal she's always wanted, then more power to her. She's already a Hall of Famer. And, good luck to her. I think she's going to do great for the program. It's a huge college. So,
Zahi, you were a prominent collegiate athlete. Is this something that would move you from one college to another and across the country a little?
What do you mean, like?
If you got a prestigious head coach.
If you were a lady, would you go to play for Mocha?
Oh. Yeah. I definitely would. Especially if I like the coach. If you know what I'm saying, that's the system. They're gonna treat you right. You know what to expect. It'd be a new opportunity. That's something I would totally do. Especially
and now you don't have to go to Baylor,
right? And I don't have to lose a year of eligibility. That's always a factor in it. Like if I have to sit out a year or not. That would be cool if she could bring some players over and get them to a different situation.
We at The Wire will wish Kim Mulkey the best of luck, best wishes, congratulations. You are in the SEC, a tougher division, so maybe winning a championship here will cement that history the rest of the way. 3 at Baylor, maybe three at LSU, and then call it quits. Who knows? But we're not calling it quits. We're just going to a quick break, and when we come back, we've got some exciting things to talk about, not to mention a hilarious wild card. You're watching The Wire. Don't go anywhere. I was surprised too, but I think it's good for her.
It is. It's just, again, man, she took over in 2000 and only 1 year she didn't make the playoffs. That's insane.
It is.
Yeah. And they never went to the playoffs before she came. Never. So I was a little surprised.
Right back into the
dungeon. All right. So this is Gary 43. He says, I feel like Justin is the reason this country has to put directions on shampoo. Do you even know what you're talking about, bro? No, I don't, Gary fucking 43. I have no idea. I don't even use shampoo. I just use 1 3-in-1 body wash, you bastard.
All right, this is from Karen 45. How do you feel about being ranked sexiest man on your podcast when Tony looks like a barbecued Kermit the Frog?
Jesus Christ.
Wait a second.
My.
Why? That sounds like a Tony rip. Why is Marvin?
That's a Tony rip. That's towards me?
Wow.
Does Christy think having a child on her lap makes her seem more likable? Also, get some sleep. You look tired. Thanks, Breezy. I'm trying.
Adam says, I see ratings must have been down. They recruited someone interesting.
Wow.
All right.
Some burn on the rest of us.
Oh, I mean, thank you, Adam.
Ashley says, I watch the show a lot and I was wondering, are you all changing the name to RT2M? Richie talks too much. I don't know what to say, Ashley, other than I feel like I talk exactly as much as I should. So fuck you.
Yes. Oh boy. Margaret says, is it me or when Tony talks, do you get the feeling he's constipated?
Yeah. Well, that face right there doesn't really help you.
Welcome back to The Wire. All right, guys, I got some more goodies here for us, and I think we're going to get things started with Anthony Davis making his return to the NBA after missing damn near 70 days, 30 games, but a little rusty, to say the least. He finished his game with 4 points. He was 2 for 10, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, and 1 steal in the 16 minutes he played in the Lakers' loss to the Mavericks. Now, you know, we do have LeBron posting some videos of himself able to run on his leg. Maybe see him out by the week's end. But with this rough start for AD and a bit of a question mark hanging over King James, how worried are you guys about the LA Lakers? I think we're on Sahi.
Yeah, I'm not worried at all. You know what I'm saying? They're the defending reigning champs. They're just doing what they got to do to be ready. Yeah, you would like to see Anthony Davis come out on his first night back and just ball out. But, you know what I'm saying, it's hard to get into the flow of the game when the coach is like thinking about, you know what I'm saying, watching your minutes and making sure you're not playing too much. So you're going out there and you're forcing it a little bit. Like you said, he took 12 shots in 16 minutes. Yeah, he's out there forcing it, trying to get some stuff to go down. So I'm not worried at all. Because once they get everybody back full strength and they're able to, you know what I'm saying, find the flow and let the game come to them, nobody's going to be able to handle them. Nobody's going to be able to stop them. Right now, he's, you know what I'm saying, that was a big time game last night playing the Mavericks, and he wants to go out there and look good, so he's forcing it, and that's not the way to play. So I'm not worried at all. They'll figure it out.
Richie, Sahi's talking, about once they get the pieces back, once LeBron's in full stride, AD gets his swing back. But we really only have a short number of games left before we're talking they have to be at full strength. Is there enough time?
Here's my opinion. If they don't make the playoffs, that's the bigger concern than if they get to the playoffs. Because I'll say this again, and I've been smack talking over and over and over, and I'm sure we'll talk about it a little later. The Golden State Warriors are dog shit. I've been smack talking them all season. I'm gonna keep riding that horse. They're number 4 in defensive rating, which means they're really good at defense, and yet they're still 10th in the West. And let me clarify something. Right now, they're only 5 games back from the Lakers. So, to put things in perspective. So that's more my concern. That yes, you know, to Sahi's point, when they're healthy and they're moving, they're still the champs. I still don't see a team that can beat them when they're healthy. And I'm not saying health and this and that, but they have to make the playoffs. And right now, they're only 4 games from losing that seed right now. There's only so much time they got on their side for that. Don't get me wrong. If they get the 8th seed, they can easily win. And I mean that. They're still the favorites if they get in the playoffs. But my only concern right now is y'all only got a 4-game cushion. So there's only but I agree to Sahi's point. Anthony Davis, it was his first game back. You know, obviously from being out for so long and his age, he wanted to perform. So I agree with Sahi. I think he was just throwing it out. I don't think there's cause for concern in the sense of like, will they be able to get it together? It's just more a matter of they need, you know, like they're going to have to start playing, period. It's not about like being 100%. It's about making sure they can just ride this out to make the playoffs. Because once they make the playoffs, then they're going to play the Utah Jazz if they're 8th seed. I'm just going to go worst case scenario outside of not making the playoffs. They're going to play the Utah Jazz. I'm not worried about that. I'm not. LeBron James could have 2 terrible games. They could go down 0-2 to the Utah Jazz, and they're still going to win. I have no respect for the Jazz. They're the best team in the league in record, but they have no chance against that team. So it's a matter of them just making it to the playoffs. And I think they can. I'm not saying they're not going to make it. I'm not having that hot take, but they got to get there. So is there cause for concern? Yeah, because there's only 4 fucking game difference between them making it and not making it. And when we're talking about a shortened season, they're running out of time. And I'm telling you one thing, you will never see a saltier Richie, and you've seen some salty Richies on The Wire and H2G. You will never see a saltier Richie than if the Lakers don't make the playoffs and the Warriors bump them out. I promise you, this $500 microphone is going to get broken. I will be as livid as I've ever been in my entire life. That's my fucking nightmare scenario, and it's getting closer and closer by the day.
You know what makes it hard? Sahi spoke about AD and the pressure on him to play well against the Mavericks and unlimited time and all that good stuff. You know what makes it more of a pressure to perform? Kevin Durant also made his return this week, and he's made several returns. He's had numerous injuries, obviously all, in my opinion, culminating from that Achilles injury and the stacked season. But he played for 28 minutes this past weekend, and he put up 33 points in that time. That's kind of night and day from, obviously he played a little bit longer, but my question on this is, does this ease your mind? We talked about how the Nets need a healthy KD or a solid KD to go the rest of the way. Does this ease your mind with the Nets, Richie?
Oh, for sure. I mean, KD's a unit right now. I think Anthony Davis is a better player, which is a hot take. But having said that, it's due to their age difference, right? Kevin Durant is in the prime of his career and is that dude. Like the only other guy is LeBron. There's only 2 guys in the league that are that dude like that. Actually, I'll take that back. Steph Curry too. There's 3 guys in the league that can just any given night, they put it on, turn it on, and they're good to go. It doesn't matter how many games they take off, and they're not worried about the limelight because they are the limelight. That spotlight's on them for a reason. And to Sahi's point, that's the thing with Anthony Davis. He's a younger kid, and like that pressure's still getting to him because even though he won a championship, he's just not there yet. He's still coming into his own as a basketball player. Kevin Durant could take 70 games. After I saw him come back from his Achilles and see him score 36 points in the opener, I never questioned whether or not Kevin Durant was, it doesn't matter. Honestly, I'm more impressed with Kyrie Irving doing Ramadan and not eating for 16 hours and scoring 36 points on no food and no water. To me, that's more impressive than what I'm used to with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant could take 6 weeks off, come back for 10 minutes and still score 20 points. He's Kevin Durant. That's what he does. But I'm not trying to say I'm not impressed. It's just, that's Kevin Durant. That's kind of like if Michael Jordan's in the dunk contest, you expect him to win. If LeBron James is on the court, you expect them to win. If Kevin Durant's in the game, I expect 36 points. The guy is a bona fide star. He scores more efficiently than anyone. That includes Steph Curry. This dude does not need to take 20 shots to score 36 points. He can do it on like 10. I don't know how, but somehow the math works. I don't understand how he does it, but he takes 10 shots and he scores 36 points. I'm like, wait, even he shot 3-pointer in that 30, but somehow he always scores 36 points. That's Kevin Durant in a nutshell. He just touches the ball and he gets points somehow. It's almost like cheating. I don't know. The dude is insane. Like we talk about Steph being the greatest shooter of all time, and I'm not going to disagree, but Kevin Durant is like the most efficient scorer I've ever seen by a mile. He's crazy. So did I expect this? Absolutely. This dude is second to none in scoring anyways. Crazy guy.
Sahi, your words exact were they need KD. They can't do it with any combination that doesn't have him involved. Does this ease your mind about the Nets?
I mean, he's still tall and extra lanky. So my mind's always, you can never ease my mind because, that old injury bug. And he's been through a few this year. So I need to see him make it through like a playoff series, for instance. If he can make it through a playoff series and be good to go, like a second round, then I think that would ease my mind a little bit more. But like there's no secret they need him to win. But is he going to be available? I'm still not sure. I'm hoping so, but.
And to your point last week, he's playing hard. I mean, that's not hard for him, as to Richie's point, but 33 points in 28 minutes, that's playing pretty hard, and we still haven't seen Harden. And we're on this stack season, and he's got all these injuries, and you never come back from an Achilles, as Justo likes to remind everybody. There's a lot going on there.
He's a mutant, man. You don't come back from Achilles. Like, Wire fans, Justin's right. It doesn't happen. I don't know how this is happening. I'm happy it's happening, and I hope it keeps happening. But this is like abnormally weird that he's still this effective.
All right. Well, while we're on the topic, and since you mentioned his name, Steph Curry, my goodness, the man. We know the Golden State. They're the bottom. They might knock the Lakers out of contention and break Richie's microphone. No. We hope that doesn't happen. But Steph Curry, he's averaging 31.3 points per game. And he's just carved another notch into what many believe is his GOAT shooter belt. This weekend, he broke the NBA record for the most three-pointers in a month. Granted, they still have, as we're recording, 3 games left on the month. But Steph Curry is currently sitting at 85 three-pointers this month. What are you guys' thoughts? And if Curry isn't the greatest shooter of all time, who's better? I think we start.
I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to go first. Sorry. He looked like he's contemplating. Someone give him a minute to his thoughts. Here's what I have to say. Steph Curry is the greatest modern day shooter of all time. And anyone who says otherwise is a fool just from statistics. You can't, Ray Allen, get out of here. Reggie Miller, get out of here. Larry Bird, get out of here. Now, do I love Larry Bird? Absolutely. Do I think Larry Bird is a better player than Steph Curry? For now, yes. But he's not a better shooter, and that's absurd. There's only one person I will argue is a better shooter, and we can't ever really know. And his name was Pistol Pete Maravich of LSU. Played for the Jazz. The man's averaged over 40 points per game in college when there wasn't a 3-point line. Now, here's where we can't know exacts. But there has been research done, ESPN and etc., and they watched his film apparently in the NCAA, and from the distances he was shooting well beyond the 3-point line, and they actually averaged it out. And if they've been accredited as 3-pointers, his 40 points per game would have went up to 49 points per game in college. That means he was making 9 3-pointers every single game, like back then in the 60s. So he's the only white man to make the Globetrotters. All right, this man was legit. Now, do I think he's better than Steph Curry? I'm not going to say yes or no, because again, I can only go off of the lore and some of the games I've seen. But what I do know is he was called Pistol Pete Maravich for a reason, because the dude had a cannon and he fired it. And he fired it from deep, and he fired it from 3-pointers. So one could argue Pistol Pete, but again, I got to go with tape. I got to go with the reality. I'm not a hater of Steph Curry. He is the best shooter. But easily, one could argue Pete Maravich, and it would have been really cool to see, who was better back then. Because again, if you look at the tape, he was taking 42-foot shots too. It's just the game back then, the coach would get pissed about it. Like, what are you doing? So it was a different era. And if he were in now's league, I think he would thrive more than he got to in the NBA at his period of time, because he was the original Magic. He was the original showman. He was doing behind the back passes in the 60s, and he was getting benched for doing it because that's not how you play basketball. So we can't know, but it's the only guy who had a similar skill set to Steph Curry. But to me, the best shooter of all time. I've seen it. I don't see how you can argue it for now. We'll see.
I'm going to say
for now,
even at 9 3-points a week, that's still 36 3-pointers a month. And Steph Curry just dropped 85 with 3 games to go. Sahi, what do you think?
Yeah, Steph Curry, greatest shooter all time. No, I mean, I'm sitting here trying to think of of anybody that I could think that might possibly be better. I'll say the best 3-point shooter of all time. I mean, he's just a great, phenomenal athlete. But there's been so many guys like Reggie Miller. He was my favorite player for a time. So it's up there between those two: Reggie Miller, Steph Curry, and Ray Allen. Oh, Jesus Shuttlesworth. You know what I'm saying? It's close between those three guys, in my opinion.
Oh my God, you're killing me. Also, you're Justin. It was 9 3-pointers per game, not per week. So that's
okay. That'd be a lot.
Don't you discredit that man for 36?
I'm not trying to discredit him. I'm just saying
that's 36 in 4 games.
I was just giving him credit for a lot more 2-pointers. All right. Last question for the NBA. Then we'll move on. We've got one more story in the wild card after this. Which NBA team do you trust the most right now to make it all the way, and why? I think we're starting with Sahih.
I am going to say, which team do I trust to take it all the way? I'm going to say the team I trust the most, this is just going to be out of left field, I'm going to go with the Phoenix Suns, because those boys are hungry. They want it. And Devin Booker, he wants that title of the best shooter ever. And he's looking at Steph Curry. He's like, man, these guys talking about Steph Curry this, Steph Curry that. When is it going to be my turn? When is it going to be me? Devin Booker. And don't they got Chris Paul down there running the ship? And when you got Chris Paul down there, anything is possible. And you got a great guy. What's that? D-Ayton? What's his name? What's his last name? Payton? D-Ayton? Payton? DeAndre Ayton. Yeah, I was forgetting, but he's a beast down there. If any team I trust just off a whim, it's those young, hungry guys down there. They're like, what, 1 or 2 in the West right now? They're 2? Yeah. So those guys, they've been proving it all season long. They're ready to show the world what they got.
Man, Sahih,
that's just
faith in the Phoenix.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that, Sahih.
Yeah.
You know,
they've been my dark horse for a while.
I like that. Here's what I'll say. Devin Booker, 3 50-point games, and he's 24 years old. Steph Curry, as we talked about, one of the GOAT shooters and all that stuff, and points per game. He has 9 total, and he's 33. All right, Devin Booker, show that man some respect. I'm with Sahih on that.
Yeah.
So for me, I got to stick with consistency. Now, again, the East is Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Brooklyn. There's so many options. Lake Show. That's who I trust. I trust the Lake Show to run it back, because to me, at the end of the day, you have one guy who's a proven leader. Like, he's the closest thing to Tom Brady and not nearly as successful. And that's LeBron James. He's been to the playoffs like as many times as I've been out of high school. Like, it's like 16 years or something. You know, it's something close to that. It's crazy. The guy is a phenom. He knows how to win, and he knows what to do, and he knows what it takes. And most importantly, he gets a lot of disrespect. When it's time to play, that dude balls out. I mean, he averages like 34, 8 and 8 in the playoffs or something like that. The guy knows what it takes to win, and there's nobody close to that. I love KD and stuff like that. He's not a leader of men like LeBron James is. I've never seen him dig deep yet. Maybe he'll do it with Brooklyn, although he doesn't have to dig that deep when you got Kyrie Irving and James Harden. But the point being is, there's only one team I trust. I don't trust Joel Embiid. I certainly don't trust Akintempo. I don't trust the Utah Jazz. I like what Sahih said about Phoenix, and I love Chris Paul and his gamemanship. But like I just said, Devin Booker is 24 years old. I don't trust the Suns either, man. I certainly don't trust the Clippers. I don't trust the Clippers. They ain't even a real LA team. They live in the basement. The Denver Nuggets, man, what you talk about? Fool tore his ACL. It is only the Lake Show. They are the only team that has a proven roster and a proven dude who, when he makes the playoffs, he gets to the chip every time. Does he always win it? No, but he gets to the chip. So if we're talking about get there, go all the way, Lake Show, it's the easy answer, but I'm sticking with it, man. LeBron James. when they're there. If the nightmare scenario of the Warriors happens, then I'm gonna be rooting for the Phoenix Suns like you never believed. I'll tell you what, man. I'm gonna be a Sahi dark horse. I'm gonna see the light. I'll be like Tampa Bay all over again, man. I'll be like Devin Booker. Save me from the Steph Curry madness, please.
All right. So we talked a lot of NBA last week. We talked MLB. We're going to do it again for our last main story. Then we'll hit our wild card before we send it on for the week. Madison Bumgarner, the pitcher of the Arizona Diamondbacks, threw a 7-inning no-hitter in their doubleheader sweep against the Braves this Sunday, but will not get accredited as a no-hitter in the MLB stat books. MLB officials stated it was not a full 9-inning game, therefore it doesn't warrant the no-hitter stat. Now, guys, I don't know if you know this, but the MLB agreed in July of last year that doubleheaders should and would be played at 7 innings apiece as an adjustment due to the COVID. There's been all kinds of complications in all sports. That's what they settled on. I also want to mention that the MLB declared a full game must be played, all 9 innings must be played in order to get this stat of a no-hitter back in 1991 is when the rule was set. So what are your guys' thoughts on this? Does Bumgarner deserve a no-hitter stat for this performance this weekend?
I gotta say the MLB's a bunch of bums. Get out of here, man. This is stupid. How you gonna tell him you only get to play 7 innings and the man completes the full game that he's allowed to play and it's not considered a no-hitter? That's some whack stuff. And when you talk about COVID safety bullshit, how is it safe? They're playing 14 innings. There's nothing safe about that. Are you kidding me? Like, this is one of the stupidest. Like, at first I was sitting here reading it and I felt stupid because I was telling Justin, I'm like, man, this is stupid. Dude didn't play a full game. And then I realized I didn't know about this COVID thing with the doubleheaders, that it's only 7-inning games. So yeah, this is whack. I'm telling you, the man was on fire. He's probably like, give me the other 2 innings. This is mine. And he didn't even get the opportunity. So the MLB are a bunch of bum gardeners or whatever his last name is. Yeah, bums, whatever, man. Like, this is whack. I can't defend the MLB. Like, I'm not going to go with the statistic of, well, he didn't play 9 innings. Like, he could only play the innings he was available. If you're going to do these weird rules due to COVID, then you got to change the format of of designations, right? Like a no-hitter in this case should be not 9 innings, but like the full game. And in this case, if it's 7 innings, then it's a full game. And I get the idea that it's, is a 7-inning no-hitter the same as a 9-inning? And there's going to be arguing and semantics, but it's not fair to asterisk it on the other side too, when the guy could only do what he could do. So this is pretty crazy. To me, it's a no-hitter after really understanding what's going on. And shame on the MLB. This is exactly why nobody watches you.
Sahi, is it true what Richie's saying that this guy deserves it because he played what he played? Or should he just get over it? Is how important is this kind of statistic on your history sheet?
It's a big deal. No hitters. How many no hitters have there been in the MLB? There's probably quite a few, but to be on that list of pitchers, like, I once threw a no-hitter back in 2021. Nobody was hitting that sauce I was pouring out. You know what I'm saying? That's just a notch on your cap. And for the guys in the league to be like, well, the rules back in the day said you got to play the whole 9 innings. Who cares about what COVID? You know what I'm saying? You only played 7. Rules say you got to play 9. Rules are rules, but no hitter doesn't count. Like, what?
Believe it or not,
that's stupid.
Since the MLB's inception in 1876, there's only been 307 no hitters.
Precisely Sahi's point, like you just said, man. Like, these are not they're not common. The only dude that made them common was the greatest pitcher ever, Nolan Ryan, right? Because I think he has like 8. But outside of that dude, like, you get 1 in your career. So if I'm this guy, I just got fleeced by the MLB, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Gardner.
It's a no-hitter to me, my guy. And it's probably a no-hitter to everybody.
That's right. And it's a no-hitter to you too, buddy. We're all on the same page.
Screw the MLB. I'm kidding.
Nolan Ryan does hold the record. He threw 7 in his 27-year career.
7, my bad.
No problem at all. Okay, yeah, and I am going to agree with you guys. I wanted to disagree so bad, but I can't make a case for it. You can only play what they give you. So,
yeah, you're only as good as your schedule allows, right? It was just like when Pittsburgh was 13-1 or whatever.
Exactly.
You can't complain that they had a bunch of darts.
I said year after year, we are not 11, or not year after week after week. We're not 11-0. Shut up. It's a lie.
Yeah, you did. You did.
All right, it's wild card time. Are you guys ready? Because this one has me excited.
Let's do it.
It's not wrestling. We're not going to talk rowing. Maybe we'll talk rowing one of these weeks. I don't know much about rowing, but your boy Baker Mayfield. Okay, we all know that he has verbalized in the past that he does believe in UFOs, right? And many may have thought that this was all part of his kind of hard to understand sense of humor. I don't laugh at his jokes in the post-game interviews. However, this week, Mayfield, while being interviewed by an ESPN analyst, doubled down on his statements when he was asked about, and I don't know if you guys saw this, the alleged Navy confirmations of suspicious aircrafts. Baker Mayfield states, "I'm a firm believer in UFOs and Sasquatch. It's real. I saw it." Fellas, and I have to tell you, this isn't a one-on-one. He's in his living room. He looked completely serious. I watched it. You can check it out on ESPN Plus, ESPN.com, and ESPN on YouTube. ESPN, give me a paycheck. Fellas, not only did he lock in his belief about the extraterrestrial, but now he's added Sasquatch to the mix. What are we making of this? Sahi's gone.
All right, Sahi's just gone. I'll start it off then. Here's what I'll make of this. Who am I to judge or no? That's what I'm gonna say. I'm surprised with the conviction, but who am I to judge, man? Like, the government hides a lot of stuff from us. Honestly, I'm way hairier than my father was, so I feel like Sasquatch could be real. Sasquatch could be my dad for all I know, man. Like, it doesn't make sense. I got a carpet up here. So all I'll say is it's very possible. I don't care that the government tries to shoot something down. I'm going with the conspiracy theory in me right now. You know what? Why can't it be real? It could be aliens, man. You don't know. Do you have any? Show me the proof there aren't aliens, and show me the proof that it's not a UFO, right? I don't care about the Navy confirmed the photo. Get out of here. You mean to tell me you trust the U.S. government and that it never lies to you?
No, so he's speaking to the fact the Navy confirmed unidentified aircrafts this past week.
Okay.
And I will say not that I'm not a conspiracy theorist in some ways, but I will say it looked a lot like the what are those bombers called? The triangle shaped aircrafts. But anyway, continue.
Yeah. No. I'm going on my rant. You know what? Like I said, it's a UFO. I haven't even seen the photo. You know what, Baker? I like you, man. I'm a Bengals fan. I don't like the Browns, but like I said, anything that Marvin likes or dislikes, I'm gonna like right now. So, Baker, I believe in you. I believe in UFOs right now, just for this episode of The Wire, and I believe in Sasquatch.
Sahi, Baker also in the same interview was asked about how he feels about signing the 5-year extension, and he's like, it kind of is what it is. We got to prove myself throughout the season. And then he went on to talk about this. What are your thoughts on all this, man?
Yeah, somebody must have shown Baker Mayfield some YouTube videos, got his mind messed up. He's not worried about his contract situation anymore. He's like, yo, guys, it is what it is about this contract. But have you guys ever researched Sasquatch? You know what I'm saying? Look into it, man. He's real. I once worked with a dude who was he talked to me about 3-4 hours in the truck about Sasquatch. And I'm like, man, shut up. Show me the proof or just shut up about it. But who knows? You know what I'm saying? People been talking about Sasquatch for years. So he's out there somewhere. There's a whole mess of Sasquatch, because how long has that been a conspiracy theory?
Right.
The original was the original Sasquatch has got to be dead and gone. So he probably had a son. There's probably some lady Sasquatches out there. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? There's some thick squashes out there.
They all eat beef jerky.
They all eat beef jerky.
Right. They living good. And the UFO thing, yeah. I mean, the Pentagon Navy, somebody confirmed it. So obviously that's real, right? So let's get that in the news and start talking about it and get people thinking about aliens before they become an alien invasion. So, I mean, we'll see. The jury's still out on that. I mean, Baker Mayfield's the perfect guy to talk about it because, you know what I'm saying, there's nothing really else to talk about in Cleveland. So all you got to do is get on YouTube and, you know what I'm saying, research flat earth, you know, Sasquatch, all that stuff, man.
Hey, they made a movie about aliens, the Independence Day, okay? It was a pseudo documentary, all right? They're real.
Yeah, they're real.
Listen,
Trump knows what's up.
Oh man, I heard it described today. This is the ESPN analyst, and I can't remember who exactly said it, but this is, and we can call it for what it really is. I heard it described as rich people problems. Because when you're rich, you can sit out and see all the stars from your backyard, and so you can think about these things instead of the real world situations. You guys got anything for that?
I mean, sure.
No.
Go ahead, Mathaim.
Okay, I was just gonna say I think it's the opposite. Rich people are too worried about getting their money and doing all their material things that they got to do. They got to cut their grass and go grocery shopping. But the people that don't really have anything, you ain't got money or anything, and you're just wishing and hoping to have stuff, you got time to really dig deep and look into stuff like that. So, I mean, I think it's the opposite on that one.
Yeah, I was about to say, to me, it is the opposite. Because when I think of somebody who believes in Bigfoot besides myself, I think it's somebody being like, Cletus, go check that out over there. That's what I think. I think of a dude that doesn't have any money and he got nothing else to do. And he's just sitting on his porch or, at the trailer, just chilling and staring in the woods. That's what I think of when I think of people. Usually the folklore is that type of people. The person that's they get off work, but they just don't do things outside of work. And they just chill at their house and stare into the abyss of the forest and the sky and stuff. Same thing with aliens. I mean, for real talk, who's the ones who talks about alien abductions? It's always some white dude in the middle of the Midwest. They got it probed in a cornfield. It ain't no rich people talking about this stuff. For real. I was just trying to say sure in the sense of sure if you want to view it that way, but no, I'm not trying to be rude, but usually, like I said, there's a certain region of America where this tends to come from. So I don't think they rich, but
I think he was trying to pat it and say these are white people problems, but that was just the way I was seeing it.
That's a fair point. That's also based on my accents. You can tell who usually says.
Anyway, I appreciate it, fellas. As always, I love seeing you here on The Wire. Folks, if you haven't seen our old episodes, you can find them at H2G Podcast.com, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Google Podcast, iHeart Radio, Pandora as of last week. We are now on Pandora, so just search H2G Podcast.com or The Wire to find us on there, and anywhere else audio podcasts are played. For The Wire this week, we are getting up out of here. Make sure you tune in once again to check out the H2G documentary for the 1 year anniversary. And the H2G Podcast returns next Monday. That's all I got. Anybody else got something?
Justin,
what's up?
Do you believe in Sasquatch and UFOs?
I don't. I have not seen, just like you said, show me the proof that they don't exist.
Oh no, he's one of those. Look at this guy. Get out of here. He's trying to be the educated left white people. Get out of here.
I believe in a lot of crazy things, but I don't know if I believe in aliens or if there are aliens, I hope they're led by Thanos.
Do you? That'd give a 50% chance of dying.
I'll take those chances.
Okay.
50% chance of dying. I can deal with it. All right, folks. This has been The Wire. We'll see you next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys have a good week. I think
this guy.
So you think Sasquatch could beat Thanos? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
That's what he's lived
Got a
thousands
shot.
of years. It's not his point. He got a shot.
Yeah.